Hi all, Shane here, Panzermeisters37's. Just a quick update on my Father Reich group build. I was working on it a little bit late last night as I was having a hangout session with Carlos Mendez and Tactical Jackalope. So I was working away, so I thought I'd show you what I did last night, because I did quite a bit. So if you remember we left off, I think we were just putting the upper hulls on. So I've added oh, no, sorry, I just want to listen to the news there. Apparently someone found a fertilizer bomb in Dublin. Up to their old tricks again. So I added, so I was looking at my reference, and there's like a panel or a raise runs down the edge, so I added that with plastic cards on both sides. The transmission housing was textured. It's a little bit probably too heavy for a scale, but I don't care. I like it being a little bit eccentric, because it does its job for the scale. If you understand me, for wargaming, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be overly accurate. It's more there just to draw the eye and create visual interest. So that was done with, I just want to say Tamiya with what's it, Vallejo plastic putty. Sorry, my blind was kind of half asleep. So I was also applied to the welded on plates. I've yet to do weld beads on them. And same on this vehicle. Okay. And also I was working on the turrets. Turrets on the M4 Sherman are cast, so I added a lot of cast texture, again by steepling on putty. If it's too thick I can always sand it back a little bit, but I like it. This turret is almost done. All it needs really to be done is to drill out the antenna mount. So I'm going to put a thin styrene rod like Coleman does, and then I'm going to wrap some very thin wire around to recreate the spring, and I'm going to drill out the two lifting eyes, and that's about it. It's a bit basic. It does come with a .5 or M2 HMG Browning, but it's moulded in one piece, including the pinnacle mount. So I'm not going to use it for this one because it just looks too damn awkward. If I could pose the weapon up or down, I would have put it in and had the weapon down or back at an angle. But it just basically it looks a little bit too awkward, I find. I don't know. I don't need to glue it down, so I can mount it, and for gaming purposes you can add your .5 HMG as an anti-aircraft mounting. So yeah, that's what I'm at. I'm pretty happy with it. I just need to add the gun, the pistol port / shell ejector or ejection slot. That's where basically this door was both a pistol port and a means for the crew to throw ammunition out the turret. These are often were permanently welded shut and cemented in the inside, that add as much protection to the crew as possible, because we all know the Sherman's reputation. Crews didn't particularly last long. Me and Andy were talking about it. Crews had a pretty horrible time in the M4 Sherman. I like the Sherman, it's a nice look. Well, some people don't like it, some people find it an ugly tank. I actually like the shape of the Sherman, but that's more only from a modelling point of view. But in real life, in combat, these things were death traps. I don't know what the designers were thinking when they were designing this vehicle, because it was basically let's make a vehicle with a very. I just need to found a gap I need to fill, so I'm just filling it out. So like let's create a vehicle with a very high silhouette, undergun it, and let's not give it particularly thick armour. and that is a recipe for disaster. A lot of men died pretty unpleasant deaths in these vehicles, unfortunately. The Germans had two names for the Sherman. They had the Walson, which is a lighter, because when they hit the engine, because it's a gasoline engine, they go up like a bloody blowtorch. And I believe in North Africa I heard another name that the Germans began to dub it, the Tommy Cooker, for obvious reasons. So this was not, it was a reliable vehicle. It was a very tough machine in the sense that you could beat the shit out of it and it would still work, but it just wasn't a particularly survivable vehicle, and that was the problem. And there was means to try to upgun it, by adding the 76mm, which the 76 actually was pretty successful in its job. Like it could do a pretty good job at dealing with German armour. Well, Panzer IVs and Stugs and Panthers. Actually, the 75mm could take down a Panther if it got a slight shot, and it's well documented. It happened in Normandy and in the tank battles rolling across France and Luxembourg and all that. So the 75 was good against Panthers on side armour. Didn't have a hope against its front armour due to the deflection, as in the sloping arm would deflect around up and out. Good luck you trying to take out a Tiger tank with 75 unless you get within point blank range of them and you're basically side on or you got a rear shot of them. You want to be within 500 meters, but I'd imagine to actually have a chance of properly knocking him out, you want to be within much closer. You're talking maybe 300 meters, 200 meters to really have a chance of dealing with him. And the thing about the tank warfare is that you don't want to be that close to your enemy. You know what I mean? That's the point. You're meant to engage at moderate range. Anyway, that's here nor there, kind of history rant. So now, so for like Panzermeisters group build, I'll only be building these two. But in time, I hope to add a third vehicle. It's either going to be the 75 or 76, or it's going to be a tank destroyer. These are nice models. I really like them. Like, I'll just give you an idea of what I meant by the high silhouette. So it's a pretty high vehicle. Anyway. So that's sorry, you lose my train of thought. So that's where I'm at with this. So I just thought I'd show you. So just a little bit of work. I'm about 70% of the way there now before I can start the fun part, which is adding the stowage. Do you mean? And make these vehicles individual. I'm thinking of actually adding log armor to one of them. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure. That's pretty late war. And also the power of the internet. This arrived in the mail. This was a trade I made on Facebook. So I got myself Perry Miniatures After the War, 1941 to 43. 38 figures, so some of them are partially made. And I traded some Flames of War stuff for them. Beautiful models. So this is going to be my next project once my Imperial Japanese are completed. So I'm really looking forward to working on them. Also, he included a 251C half-track that I'll either paint up in DAC colours, digraphical core, or I'll paint it up the same way as my other 251 to kind of tie it in. He also included, I believe this is actually a Hetzer crew models, also Perry. Again, beautiful detail. And then just to top it all off, he also threw in he also threw in a MG34 on the tripod, or the Lafayette mount, which is basically what we refer to in the army as a MAG SF or GPMG SF, sustained fire. So what you do is, what I mean by sustained fire is you put onto a tripod, you have a trainable sight that operates with elevation and bearings, a little bit like a mortar sight. And you have the same type of meter or aiming post style stick that the mortar teams have, and you can basically arc around to hit the target. So we call that an SF. It's the same, an SF mount, a sustained fire mount. So I have a nice little Africa Corps army. I'm not going to add that much more to it. My infantry element is completely done with this little thing. I'm going to probably pick up a Panzer 3 maybe, or a Panzer 4 special, the F2 I believe. Perry's also do what I really want to get my hands on. They do 250s, so I might get myself a 250 and Rommel's Grief, and maybe 1 or 2 50s. I like the Africa Corps to be semi-mobile, because the entire Africa Corps for the most part was mobile in some way or shape or form, whether it be in half-track or truck or jeep, because they had to be. So I like to represent that. So I might paint this to work with my Panzer Grenadiers, though. We'll see. So that's really what I got. It was pretty cool. Beautiful stuff. So anyway, that's it. I've wasted your time long enough. So I hope all the builds are going well, lads. Keep up the good work, you know what I mean? I was watching War Never Changes, there I said that really awkwardly. I was watching War Never Changes channel update, or his build update with his Panther knife fighting vehicle, and Mace, that's a non-real model. Your primer is unreal. The way you've done that, it looks so cool. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do with that. Cohen's is doing pretty well. It's near completion. He's just getting ready to paint. Mine isn't too far behind his, I don't think. I'm almost done now. I was going to start adding stowage, and that's about it. I had a spare bit of like American style not duffel bags, like haversacks, and for the life of me I can't figure out what I did with the sprue. I really hope I didn't throw it out. Alright, so anyway, so that's a video for another day. So thanks for watching, stay safe, enjoy your modelling, and best of luck with the group builds. Cheers. Hiyo, working away again on my entry for Panzermeisters group build. Turrets are done. I'm trying to make each one different. So text string is done, 0.5 or 50 caliber is mounted. This one will not have one because I want to have a crewman, and it looks ridiculous with the crewman. Because I can't pose the gun up or down, so it's kind of in the way. So what I'm working on now is, if anyone's familiar with pictures of Shermans in wartime, the crew were always trying to find ways to get as much equipment onto the vehicles as possible. And you often see a piece of wood, a plank, thrown across the transmission housing to act as a bit of a shelf, something like this, to basically just allow them to stack some equipment. So I'm going to add one of them. So what I'm going to do is, I have a piece of very thick matchstick. You can do this on a plastic card if you wish to, but I'm just using a piece of wood. So I'm just using the piece I made already as my template. There we go, snap. And what we do is we place our matchstick now, and I just split the wood and then I plane it. I kind of want my vehicles to be different, and these are small and easy to do details that will give you the best result for your vehicle, just to add a little bit of your own. Anyway, that's the point. We want to have our own looking machines. So they were talking about Jay-Z's harrowing experience in that lift where Beyonce's sister bet the holy snot out of him. Very a lot of interesting debates going, like should he retaliate or what was appropriate for him to defend himself. I haven't seen the video, so I don't know how violent the attack was, but I don't know really if you could have really restrained her without getting in trouble. Even if you laid a hand on her, even just to push her away from him, he would have been up for like, oh, he assaulted her. You know, she was beating the shit into him. I love equality, well, the lack of equality, that a woman can beat the shit out of a man and this man has to sit there and take it. I'm not saying that you ever swing back, that is completely wrong and unacceptable of a man to ever do that to a woman. But even if you just try to gently or respect, kind of like appropriately push them back a little bit without really pushing them into anything, as in just restraining them, you're still in shit, you know. It's just an interesting topic, you know. I'm not condoning violence or anything like that. But yeah, bro, Jay-Z. But at least no fair play to him. He kept it cool, and no one got hurt. Well, no one but him got hurt. And let's find the brush. So I bought myself some new brushes there. I'll make a video about them because I want to do some frugal modelling videos, kind of my take on it. I'm trying to do some steeple effects. I'm taking an old piece of crap brush, cutting away the bristles. There we go. So the quarter of the brush left, and what I'm going to do is I want a bit of difference between each vehicle, so I'm actually leaving off the applique armour for the transmission groups. I don't know how accurate this is, I don't care. But I know these are cast, as you can tell by the shape. Just adding a bit more. Just add a little bit of cast texture. You don't have to add this if you do not want. That's completely grand. This isn't a tutorial, of course. Sorry, but I mean, I don't have. If I really just wanted a wargaming machine, I probably wouldn't go this far. But I take pride in trying to make my vehicles my own, you know. Because again, there's going to be a lot of these on the gaming table, and I don't want them. I want my machines to stand out. I don't mean that in a cocky way. I just want them to be a little bit different from everyone else's. So there we go. Now, what next? Well, next step now is to start with the stowage. Different ways to do that. I'm going to use a few different ways. First things first, I'm just going to reset the camera to get some super glue, so I have to run in and rob it from the house and return it before they notice, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to make just some basic stowage, nothing too much. So this is going to be some tarpaulins. Oh, I'm using up the last of my green stuff. I'm not a big fan of green stuff. I would prefer to use melee push, but I just don't have any on me at the moment, so I'm just going to use a bit of green stuff first. The good thing about green stuff is it's just 2 Paradex epoxy putty. That you don't have to really prepare your workspace that much. Just a bit of water on your desk to break surface contact. And there you go, that's all you need. So what I'm going to do is just dampen my fingers, and we start breaking and kneading the material until it sets, or into one solid colour, which would be like a bright kind of snot green. I need something to roll this out with too. Okay, let's use this. I find this doesn't roll as well as milliput. A lot of people swear by this. I'm not a big fan of green stuff. On the plus side, it sets very quickly, so that's its main advantage, I believe. I hope the radio isn't too loud because there's some sexist pig fucking talking about, oh, it's okay to hit women back if they go at you. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, he's going to make a lot of friends on this talk show, I can tell you. So, okay. So, there we go. The green stuff has, in fact, set. Again, I'm going to mix in water. I'm going to break it into a few small parts. I'm going to make like a large bedroll style tarp that's going to sit on the back deck of this vehicle. Now, and now just to break surface tension on this, just dampen this with water. It's just normal tap water. And roll. See, it doesn't seem to roll out as much as I'd like it to. So yeah, just keep rolling it out until we get it to a shape we want. It's not if this was merely put now, this would roll out much wafer thin and more smoothly, but so there we go. Just a small part, don't need that much. Take our hobby knife, damp it, dip it in water, and just first thing just spread this out. Move. There we go. Nice and simple. We can reuse this as long as we keep it damp. And then what we'll do is we'll mount this to our vehicle. You can buy pre-molded stuff as well, but a lot of the time it looks a bit too thick for the skin. And I'll just use this for folding it over itself. Okay, so so I'm going to use my toothpick just to help conform. Good thing as well about green stuff is it conforms very nicely to there we go. Just a small little tarpaulin. I'm going to throw another one in as well. So add a bit. Okay, I'm going to make a few boxes as well. I was going to pause this video, maybe back.